Martial Arts Chat podcast is sponsored by A1 Fight Gear. A1 Fight Gear uses the latest cutting-edge boxing gloves for professional and amateur fighters, gym enthusiasts and kickboxers. Local and national gyms in the UK, do yourself a favour and check out a1fightgear.com. And if you're wanting to get into shape, get back into shape, then go to beastgear.co.uk. Use the coupon code MartialArtsChat to save 15% off your purchases. They've got core sliders, straps and barbell pads and complete strength and conditioning programs to suit your needs. We are also sponsored by Feel Supreme. FeelSupreme.co.uk offers CBD oil and natural nutrition. They will assist your progress in diet and lifestyle. Natural supplements and complementary services such as yoga, mind coaching and weight cutting programs. Finally, we are also sponsored by World of Martial Arts Television. WOMA.tv produces, finds, acquires, commissions and presents all you ever wanted to know about martial arts. Hello, my name's Chris Allen and this is the Martial Arts Chat podcast. Today I'm being joined by one of the UK's top up-and-coming fighters. He fights at one of the best gyms in the UK, Team Renegade, which I'm sure you all know is host to a number of great fighters. And here we have Mo Mini Cannon Zubair. How you doing, Mo? Okay?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, really good, mate. I'm slowly, I don't know, I've been melting the last 2 days, you know what I mean? It's been hot, hasn't it? But I'm slowly starting to get back to normal again. You had strength and conditioning this morning. How was that in this heat?
Well, it was my last one before the fight next week, and it absolutely killed me off. But the last one's always hard, man. So this heat as well, like, just makes me feel even better. So yeah,
that's it, mate. That's it. And when you and you said you were boxing training yesterday as well, and it was like what, a record-breaking heat yesterday. Was it like 39 degrees it hit at some places?
yeah, it was ridiculous, man.
Well, because the way you were telling me the gym you train in, obviously it's a decent boxing gym, but it's quite old school, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Fraser's Boxing Club, and man, there's no windows in the place, so I was dying.
Oh man, it's almost like that press room at Cage Warriors when I bumped into you in the fires. It was pretty warm in there as well. Do you remember that?
Yeah, it was hot in that room, man. We were all melting.
I felt,
There was like 50 cases of water in the fridge and that.
I know, and like they brought us all this water in, and don't get me wrong, Cage Warriors did the best they could with what they had. It was great. But they said, yeah, guys, we've got some bottles of water for you. Just, unfortunately, they're all warm. I said, well, that's not going to... They're all warm. Do you know what I mean? But I remember when I was interviewing the fire serve, I remember I was sweating more than he was, and he just had a fight. And he was pretty pissed off as well, do you know what I mean? So, yeah. I'll tell you what then, Mo, let's go to that quickly. I know we're here to talk about you, but last time I saw you, we were at Cage Warriors Night of Champions. You were cornering the Fias. So that's Frederick. So... obviously, we all saw what happened in that fight. People don't know he fought James Webb for the title. The fight ends up as a draw. It's quite controversial. So, what were your thoughts about that fight, Mo?
I'm going to be honest now. Everyone's saying that on social media. Everyone's like, yeah, Webb won. But if Goddard never took the point off Frederick, then Natty would have been the champion. Everyone's seen the judges' scorecards at the end and what they says. And that 1 point, it made the big difference. So, in my opinion, Frederick's the uncrowned world champion. I believe Webb won the first round, Natty won the second, third, and fourth, and then obviously the point in the last round, which made Webb win the last one. But hey, it is what it is, and hopefully Natty gets to bring that belt back soon in a rematch if Webb accepts it.
That's it. Well, I thought the fight saying I'll call him Natty, since that's what you guys call him. Basically, I thought he said in the clause there's a clause in his contract or something saying that there has to be a rematch. Is there, or was that wrong? Because it was a draw.
I don't know what's in the contract and stuff, but I know that I think personally it should be because Webb's cleared out the rest of the middleweight division. He's already beat Radcliffe. He's beat Robertson. He's beat other lads, and there's no other fighters really for him to fight. And that fight ending in a draw, I believe that is still, he ain't beat Natty and he ain't lost to Natty. Like, there's unfinished business. You can't say, yeah, I'm the champion on a draw. Like, you need to clearly beat the guy. You can't get a draw and be like, yeah, I'm still the world champion. Like,
yeah, I know, and it was a bit of a shame the point was taken, but from a non-biased view, okay, when he slammed him the initial spike, as they call it, do you feel that he should have had a warning prior to that? Because I don't remember Goddard giving him a warning for the first one, and then all of a sudden he took a point. What was your view on that?
Yeah, definitely should have got a warning first. Like the first one weren't a spike because Webb never landed on the back of his head and neck.
Okay.
The second one he did, but we at our camp, we Leon Edwards, he's gone over to AKA, he's come back and showed us some stuff. Like this was back in the day when he's gone to AKA.
Yeah.
And this is a move that he showed us that most of us like, and no one knew that lifting your opponent that high, like it's a spike and that. Like none of us knew, so a warning should have at least been given first.
And do you think I actually asked Natty this as well, and I said to him, I said, do you think, because Goddard at one point, he gave him a bollocking and all that, we saw that he told him off, but then obviously Natty was quite angry still at the time, and I don't know what he said to Goddard, but it looked like Goddard sort of just was like, whoa, I'm taking a point. Do you think Natty's because his frustration sort of helped towards Goddard giving the point? Do you reckon?
I
understand he's frustrated. He had every right to be frustrated.
Yeah, I've watched the fight back about 200 times. It's actually like watching that fight back. But yeah, like I've seen it, and Goddard's pulled him to the side. Natty was obviously upset and frustrated, but still, there's no reason just to be like, oh, you pissed off from taking a point. Like, anyone would be like that really if you done it to the person first time and nothing's happened, and then you've done it again, and all of a sudden the fight's been stopped. Like, at least a warning should have been given first.
Yeah, I know, but you know what? At the end of the day, as I said to Natty, I said you've got to take the positives. You're fighting on Cage Warriors' biggest show they've ever put on. You're fighting for the title, and you didn't lose. You drew, and if it wasn't for the point, then you would be the new champion. So, I hope he's taking the positives away from that now and working hard to come back fighting. It was a good night for Team Renegade, though, wasn't it? See, Jai, Herb, he won the title as well. Did you corner him that night as well?
No, I never cornered none of them actually.
Oh, sorry, I thought you cornered Fire for some reason. Sorry, mate.
I was with him all fight week because helping him cut weight and that. I always, like, every time he fights, like, I always go with him, like, just to be with him and stuff, like, help him cut the weight and that and whatnot. But yeah, it was a good night, like, for the lads.
No, really good, and it's nice, and it must be great that you've got all these top guys around you as well. At Team Renegade, and you're getting the opportunity to watch them grow. And is that some of these guys like your biggest inspiration at Renegade? Like you look up to like Leon and Jai and Nefias, people like that.
Yeah, of course. I look up to all the lads, like training with high level guys. I don't know if you know already, but I also go to Jack Grant's camp, AVT.
Okay.
And there's loads of lads that I look up to there as well. Like their head coach Danny Mitchell is a UFC vet. Got loads of lads up there, and then in Birmingham as well, Team Renegade, Tom Breeze, UFC, Leon Edwards, top, what is it, third or fourth in the world he is now.
He's fourth now, yeah, he got ranked number 4 now after that last win, yep.
Yeah, number 4, Joy Herbert, Cage Warriors world champion, Aidan Lee. And I'm also training with like vets of MMA, like Dave Hill, fought Conor McGregor back in the day on Cage Warriors, and Chris Meyer as well. So I've got good training partners everywhere, man.
That's amazing. And do you feel blessed by that then? Because you've had such a great opportunity. You've come into the sport. You've been fighting since 2018, your first amateur fight at the beginning, and you've come into the sport. And have you always been? Were you with UTC before Renegade?
Yeah, I was with UTC for quite a while.
So do you feel quite blessed that you've had this opportunity where a lot of people might not do to come in your starting off in your career, but you're getting to train with the top guys like Leon and Fabian and all these guys? Do you feel that's quite a what's the word I'm looking for? It's quite a strong, like on your part. It helps you out a lot because you've had that opportunity where a lot of people haven't.
Yeah, it helps me out a lot, and one of the main things that it helps me out with is like, most of them lads when they were coming up, they never had like I've got to look up like to Leon and Joy and all that. Most of them lads never had that. So like Rocky and Joy, Natty and stuff, all the things they help me with is like mistakes that they've made in the past. So they help me a lot so I don't make the mistakes that they made.
Yeah.
because back in the day when they were coming up, no one was really like tallying them and stuff. Like no one really had the experience back then. So the mistakes they were making, like they didn't know about them. Whereas now they can help me and stop me from making the mistakes they made, which is it's really good.
And also, it helps with your career when to help you open doors as well. I'm sure you'll do it yourself with your performances, but it will also help open doors to Cage Warriors, Bellator, UFC, things like that. Because you've got guys in UFC, Bellator, Cage Warriors. You've got guys, as you said, you've got guys in all different organisations. So the world is your oyster, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of people would die to be in your position, man. You know, they'd love to be in your position, training with top guys, and you know they can open doors for you as well. So no, it must be a great advantage for you as well. Really is. So let's
Yeah.
so we're free, so you're 3 fights in now, okay? But you've had 2 wins in your last in well, let's say the last 30 days of each other. Do you know what I mean? Within a month. I know. Let's go back to your last fight against David Adams because I know that wasn't your initial fight. Your initial fight was at Golden Ticket Fight Promotion, and
Yeah.
wasn't it? Didn't you? Wasn't that literally a 24-hour turnaround for you?
What happened was it was fight week and I'd finished my last session on the Tuesday with my Thai boxing coach Henry.
Yeah.
Felt really good all fight week preparing, and then I remember I can't remember what day it was. I think it was on the Thursday. I was cutting a bit of weight, and then I'd seen that golden ticket had been cancelled, and I was like, "Oh no! Like this has got to be a joke." Because in the past, at the start of the year, I took a time off after my debut, joined Team Renegade, so moved camps, and then I was meant to fight at the start of the year. I had loads of people turning me down, loads of pullouts and fight week, and then I thought, oh, I've got some proper bad luck if it actually is cancelled. Found out it was cancelled. They tried to move my original fight with my opponent over to FCC. We waited, but then I don't know what happened there. They says I can't remember what they said. I think they says I can't remember what they said, but that never happened. And then I remember I woke up on the Friday morning, and then I'd seen a message like David Adams has just weighed in. Can't remember what happened to his opponent. He missed weight or he never showed up or something. And this is, do you want it? He weighed in at whatever he weighed in at. I woke up at whatever I woke up at, and I just went, you know what? I've done the fight camp. I'm ready to go. I wanted to fight anyone
Yeah, I bet.
at any weight, and that's what they give me. So I went, yeah, why not? I'll take it.
And I'm sure you're glad you did as well. Was that so? What weight class did you take that fight at?
That was at bantamweight, but he weighed in way over bantamweight, so it could have been a featherweight fight really, but yeah, we got put down as bantam.
What did you wake up at in the morning, if you mind me asking? What were you weighing?
I was cutting weight. Because I was cutting weight. I was about 61,
Okay.
and then he weighed in at what 67 or something.
And you still went in and dropped him in the second round. Things could be worse. So there you go. You come in like it just shows. Then you can overcome like not so much the adversity in a fight, but the adversity before the fight, mentally and psychologically. A lot of people wouldn't have taken that fight because they don't know who this guy is. He could be anyone. You haven't trained with this guy in particular. So how did it feel when you were trying to prepare for him? You literally had 24 hours. Were you just training? Were you just frantically watching fight videos about the guy? What were you doing to prepare for him in such a short amount of time?
I watched a little clip on him. I must have watched about 20 seconds on him. Seen that he was small, seen that he was a grappler. And I thought, sweet, that's all I need. My original opponent was a tall boxer. So I don't go into fights with game plans. Jai Herbert, my coach, he's like, think of it as a hard spar. Don't go in there with a game plan. Because if you go in there with a game plan and it don't start working, start to get frustrated. So just do what you're good at. And I'm comfortable everywhere, so I just went in there, done my thing, and got the finish.
Yeah, but I bet it felt amazing as well. And also that's 2 finishes back to back as well within the space of a month. You got 1 submission and 1 TKO. So
Yep.
for people out there, listening to this now, may not have seen a couple of your amateur fights. What is your style? So are you more of a stand-up man? Do you find you're stronger on the feet? Do you find you're stronger on the ground? Because I know in Team Renegade the boxing is at an unbelievable level. So it'd be interesting to see which one you prefer and which one you feel you're strongest in.
I'm all rounded. I'm comfortable to go everywhere. Want to stand, I'll stand with you. You want to grapple, I'll grapple with you. Or if you want to wrestle, I'll wrestle with you. I'm comfortable everywhere. It's MMA, not boxing or not a jiu-jitsu match or a wrestling match or whatever. This is MMA. You have to
Yeah.
be all rounded.
Just get Yannick to lie on top of you, man, in the gym and try and get up. That's good training for you, you know.
Yeah, crushing me.
Hey, but you know what? Khabib, he holds down Daniel Cormier, who's a heavyweight, so you never know. You know what I mean? It could happen. But no, I said another great training partner in Yannick Bahati as well. You've got there as well. You know, you've got such great guys around you. So, excuse me, mate. So after the David Adams fight, okay. So what we know, we're 2 months away. So you said you've got a fight coming up soon. So again, you're back in the cage. Who are we fighting and where's it going to be?
His name's Luke Fodden. I dropped a decision to him in my debut,
Oh, so you're
which
having a
everyone.
rematch against your debut? Oh, okay, I
So
didn't realise.
it's Ross Poynton's show, ex-UFC vet, GP UK 40. It's his 10th year anniversary show. So yeah, and it's next week.
And how did that come around so quickly? Also in another different organisation.
What happened was I come out of that David Adams fight, and I was meant to fight on cage steel at the Sheffield Arena on July 13th. Yeah, it was July 13th, and my opponent pulled out, and I'd got injured in the David Adams fight. I'd tore the intercostal muscle in my ribs, and I couldn't really train for about 3 weeks after that fight. And then I was, I, I seen my opponent, and I was like, I can beat him either way. But then he pulled out. I told my management to tell Danny. Says, you know what? There's no point matching me because we're 2 weeks out. I ain't been able to train properly. I've been injured. So I'll heal up properly and get me another fight. And they come back with GP UK because it was about 2-3 weeks after. I was like, sweet, I'll take that. And then Ross messaged me saying, we've got Luke Folden, the lad you lost your debut to, and we'll give you the title shot. I was like, yeah, why not? I'll take it. That's a fight that I want.
Oh, so you're getting a title shot then in this next card, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, fantastic. And I think, isn't his last fight as well, Foden, was against you, wasn't it? That's the last
Yeah,
time he
yeah.
fought. So, so
Was
what
it
you...
2017 or...
Sorry?
Can't remember.
Uh,
Can't remember when we last fought. It was over a
uh,
year ago.
yeah, March
But
2018. Yeah. So
yeah,
there you
yeah.
are. You could be bringing back your first belt back to Team Renegade to hang on the wall. How does that feel going into that fight then?
It's good. I know his game plan. I know his strategy, exactly what he wants to do. So, yeah, but I'm just working my strengths in the camp, not focusing on him at all. Know what he's going to do, and I've just been working my strengths, improving. And yeah, every camp I'm doing, I'm just getting stronger and stronger, fitter and fitter, and my skills just developing it every single day, like. So, yeah.
Yeah, mate, you're definitely going to be a scary individual, mate. I can definitely see, especially the people you've got around you and watching your fighting style as well. It's really, really interesting. Do you mind us asking, Mo, how old are you, if you want me asking?
I'm 19.
You're 19. So,
Yeah.
I actually thought you were a bit younger than that, to be fair, man. Bloody hell, you're 19. You're 19, man. I'm thinking, blimey. So like, you've got your whole career ahead of you still, man. It's incredible. So how about, okay, let's go back there. We can't go back too far. So what were you doing before MMA? What were you doing before
Boxing.
that? Boxing, yeah. So is that what you're doing? Like that, was that the only martial art you were doing before MMA?
Yeah, that was the only thing I was doing before MMA. I've done it for quite a while, to be honest.
How long were you doing boxing for?
Must have been about 2 years, but I'd never competed in it. I was just training, just doing it because I loved it, really. When I first started boxing, I'd never ever thought about competing and training full time and stuff. The gym that I used to go to, it was only open Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I'd do 3 days straight a week and then just chill.
Did you have other aspects, other aspirations or career? Like, did you want to be, I don't know, an astronaut, a fireman, like things like that?
I wanted to be a mechanic, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah, you can still do that sort of stuff, mate. Save money on fixing cars. Do you know what I mean? But don't worry, you keep going the way you're going. I think someone will be fixing them for you the rest of your life. So I think you'll be fine. Do you know what I mean? But you keep finishing people the way you are, because it's people look at your record and see, oh, he had his first fight and oh, he lost and he wasn't around for a while. So I'll tell you, what did you learn in that year, but almost a year off between your debut fight, and what did you change without giving too much away to your next opponent?
my whole style changed. All my abilities changed. Everything changed in that whole year. I'd moved camps, trained solids, adapted my game, changed it, changed a lot of aspects of my game, worked on my weaknesses, and just improved my strengths. So, yeah.
Fair enough, man. And how did you, when you started doing MMA, how did you find the transition? Well, first of all, why MMA? Why did you find a love for mixed martial arts?
Because the UTC gym was close to my house. So I thought, you know what, I'll give it a go. I liked doing the stand-up classes. And then, yeah, I had some kickboxing fights, K1 fights, boxing fights on the UTC. I
And
didn't really like wrestling at the time, but I'd still do it. And I didn't really like wrestling at the time. I was terrible at them both. I remember Fabian Edwards used to literally drag me into the classes. I used to hate them. Any way out, I'd get off the mat. Any way that I could find, I'd get off the mat. Used to hate it. And then remember Fabian, he said to me, look, you can either be a mixed martial artist or you can do K1. And then I thought, you know what? I don't really know if there's any money in K1. But then once I started doing a bit more grappling and stuff, I actually started to like it. I think that I didn't like it because I wasn't really good at it. But then once I got to understand grappling and wrestling a bit more, I'd loved them.
Well, you're going in against top class wrestlers as well, like Fabian and Leon and Yannick are no joke. You know, and who was there then? Who was actually in the gym from like when you first started? Who's still now at Renegade, like name wise?
I've always been with Nathias Frederick,
Yeah.
well, Natty. I've been with Natty ever since I first walked into the gym.
Mhm.
There's Natty, Rocky, Yannick, Fabian. Um, can't really think, but
Yeah.
yeah.
But you've all. But it sounds like UTC have all stayed as the same team and gone to Renegade together, which is nice. And I've said I've spoken to a few of your teammates as well. I said I've spoken to Matthias, I've spoken to Fabian as well, and it sounds like you've got a nice little family down there. So you must feel honoured to be and blessed, obviously, like I've said again, to go down there and have all those guys from day one. And you got to remember, if you're getting out wrestled, you probably didn't realise you were going against Fabian and people like that. which is a bit of a scary one, you know. But if are you how are you getting on with the rest? Like who do you actually do, like for example, who do you mainly do like your boxing training with, your jiu-jitsu and your wrestling training with? Are there certain individuals or do you mix it up?
What do you mean, coaching or training partners?
Yeah, training partners. Is there anyone in particular you prefer to do your jiu-jitsu with or your wrestling with or stand up?
No, we're all high level down at Team Renegades, all the little guys. Two of my main training partners, what I'm with day in and day out, they're UK MMA vets, Chris Meyer and Dave Hill.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
it.
I don't know if you've heard of Dave Hill, but he's fought in Cage Warriors for years. I can't remember when his last fight was, 2016 or 2015, but he's a UK MMA vet. He's fought Artem, he's fought Conor McGregor, he's fought David Lee, fought all the old school lads. Yeah.
That's it, mate. Solid training camps as well. And do you feel like you've been in a bit of a training camp for the last, well, since your career started? You haven't really stopped training, have you? It's just been one long training camp. When are you going to actually take a break, man?
I've got a few more fights booked up. So my next one that's been confirmed after GP UK 40 is Made for the Cage. I'm fighting for their vacant flyweight title. So yeah, and then I've got another one booked up after that. I can't say because it's not
Yeah.
been announced yet. And then I think I've got another one after that. So
Quality,
yeah.
mate. Keep them busy. That's nice. Nice. And obviously you're getting so much opportunity, so many things here, and it's all a great way to learn. Are these all at amateur level still?
Yeah, all at amateur still.
Yeah, is that somewhere like I think it's good that you're not jumping too quickly into pro, even though I'm sure you're very capable. Is amateur somewhere you want to stay just for at least these next 3 or 4 fights, just so you can learn everything you can possible before making that jump to pro?
Yeah, there's more than 3 or 4 fights I'll stay at amateur.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to fight all the top guys at amateur, bantamweight, flyweight, get all the experience prior to turning pro, you know.
Yeah. Well, have you thought about maybe just going around all these organisations? He says all these title shots are being offered and vacant titles. Just be a multi-organisation champion. Why not? You know what I mean,
Yeah,
man?
I like to travel across the UK, like fighting on different shows and just more exposure and getting my face out there. So yeah.
And you said you're with the right people as well, going to help you get exposure. But as I say, it's nice to see in your amateur fights you're getting walked up by Natty. Natty, I'm guessing Natty's always there and Jai.
Yeah,
They always
with
walking you up.
Natty like every single day. I'm with Natty like between 2 and 3 times a day. I was just with Natty now. I'll be with him tonight as well. Like with him every day. I'll always have Jai in my corner as well. And yeah.
That's it, mate. I can't wait to see all the pictures of you with about 20, like a bloody boxing champion with like 12 different titles all wrapped around him from different organisations. Multi amateur champion, mate. That would be great. So are you? Is this what you want to do now? You know, you've decided MMA is what you want to do. Are you doing this full time yet, or are you still working a full time job, Mo?
No, I've been training full time since after I lost my debut. Been training full time, took it serious, realised that this is what I wanted to do. What my inspiration for training full time was my coach, Joel Cummins at the time. He's a current EFC lightweight champion.
Yeah.
I remember he used to train at like 4 or 5 a.m. every day. Like I'd be with him all day in the gym. I'd watch him coach his classes. I'd watch him do PTs. I'd do everything with him. I'd go to the warehouse with him to get stock for the gym, and I'd just be around him every day. And he was the one that inspired me to train full time.
That's sometimes what you need, isn't it? Someone to help inspire you to do it full time. I said you had that coach, you had Fabian dragging you onto the mat to do wrestling when you really didn't want to. And imagine if they weren't dragging you on, you might never have got into MMA, and we might never have seen you in the cage. So in your eyes, what's your plan for the future in this sport? Obviously, you're going to turn pro eventually. Do you want to go through the same avenues like your teammates, go through the Cage Warriors, Bellator, and then eventually to the UFC? What do you want? What's your dream?
My dream is like everyone else, to be UFC champion. Like what? Yeah, I'd like to be UFC champion. I'd like to have my own gyms, and yeah, I'd like to be a coach as well, a head coach.
Yeah, that's it. And obviously, you're getting training of some of the best in the world currently at the moment, and it must be great at 19 years old to have so much knowledge. Do you feel you could easily? Are you passing on some of your knowledge already, even at 19 years old, to guys in the gym coming in?
When I was at UTC, I used to coach the kids and stuff, but since moving to Renegade, I ain't really done no coaching. I'll always help the lads and that. Like if anyone wants padding, I'll always do it. I'll always help anyone, but I ain't really thought about coaching. Only recently, like a few weeks ago, I was like, oh, I actually miss teaching the kids and that, because I liked working with the kids, like me passing knowledge on to them and watching them do that stuff, inspiring and stuff. It made me happy. So I've thought about teaching kids recently, but I'd like to get these fights out of the way first and then sort something out.
And do you think, yeah, that's great you do that sort of thing. It must be very self-rewarding to give something back that you've learnt at such a young age yourself as well, which is fantastic. And do you think it's actually very important? Do you think it's important that kids get involved in some sort of martial art? And do you think the message to parents should be, look, it's not, it might be cage fighting, but it does teach a good discipline at a young age. Do you think more kids should get involved in this sport at a younger age?
Yeah, I believe they should. Like, not even if they don't want to compete, it's good self-defense. It disciplines them and it gets them off the PlayStations and Xboxes and stuff. But
Yeah.
I'd never force any child into it, because I've seen kids get forced into it and they don't put 100% into it. Like they'll mess around and stuff just to keep their parents happy. Come to the gym for an hour and then go home and do what they do. Like.
Yeah, no, your heart's got to be in it, really. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you don't want to force your kids into doing it, because at the end of the day, they're not going to enjoy it. And as you obviously have seen, they're not putting 100% into it. And someone like yourself, you know, boxing from a young age and like training wise, and now competing, you know, you sound like you've been doing it for years, Mo. You know, you sure you're not a veteran already? You sure this record that we're looking at isn't just, you know, fabricated?
Yeah, I ain't had about 200 Sambo fights that end on my record.
Yeah. He's actually had like 3 Muay Thai world champions, you know, and things like that. So yeah, it definitely sounds like it, mate. Sometimes. So also, what I like to ask every fighter as well, is always interests me, is who gave you the nickname, or did you give yourself the nickname, and where did it come from?
I remember it was for my return fight on GP UK. what was it, in March, April. But yeah, I remember I was hitting pads with Joy Herbert and his missus Jay Haynes. She was sitting on the side, and I was hitting his pads, and she just started saying mini cannon. I was like, what? And she was like, mini cannon, because I've got power in my shots. And then the nickname just stuck. A few more people started calling it me in the gym, and I was like, this must be my nickname then if it's stuck now. So yeah.
That's it. I love it. I love hearing all the different stories, mate. And I said there's always very common nicknames, but I've actually never heard anyone called Mini Cannon before. So that's a good one, man. That's a nice, unique one. You know, I like it. I like it a lot. So, fighting next week. So, was it next week or 2 weeks? Sorry,
Next week.
next week. So, how's the weight cut coming at the moment? You cutting okay?
Yeah, the weight cut's good. My management heavy duty. They give me a nutritionist and stuff. So yeah, I'm getting all the support I need, and the weight cut should be easily. Hopefully, I don't look forward to it, but it's got to be done.
Well, when you get in the cage, you don't look like weathered and drawn, like you've lost loads of weight, and you look absolutely shattered. You know, so whoever they're doing, they're definitely doing a good job. So, what's the nutritionist company that you're working with?
Primer Solutions, it's called. There's Matt and Jamie. They help me on literally on the whole of fight week. We've got a WhatsApp group, and throughout the camp they'll always be messaging me, but especially on fight week they'll be on to me every single hour, like just asking me what my weight is, what I should be doing and stuff, what I should be eating. And then they'll after I've made weight, they'll be on me again. They'll send me plans over of what I should be eating, what I need to be getting back into my system. And then on fight day, they'll be on me as well, telling me what to eat and stuff. And yeah.
I say I don't know how you do it, to be honest with you. You guys, when you cut weight and have to eat certain foods, it would drive me up the wall. I love my food too much. What's your cheat food? What's your go-to cheat food when you're not cutting? Is there a particular food you can't wait literally to eat? You've almost got it waiting there in your changing room after your fight.
Yeah, I love cheesecake.
Is it?
Cheesecake's
Oh yeah, I think I heard actually in a different interview you had. Weren't you on your way to get a cheesecake or something like that before your fight or something like that?
Yeah, that was the David Adams fight, because I didn't think I was fighting. I was on my way to get a cheesecake. Got a call up about the fight, says I'll take it. And then as soon as the fight was done, I says, Natty, get my flip flops. He's grabbed my flip flops, and I've literally ran all the way over the road to Asda to get like loads of cheesecake and stuff. Remember eating it in the back with Lee Willie Scott, and he couldn't finish his bit. So I was like, hey, I'll pass it me, and I got a spoon and started finishing his bit off.
And then and then you got the phone call. Luckily, the guy was at a heavier weight, at bantamweight. You should have bought yourself a few more cheesecakes, trying to put some more weight on. So I think that should be the new nickname. No more mini cannon, mate. It's Mo Cheesecake Zubair. That sounds better. I like it. I'll tell you what. If I'm ever covering press at any of your events and we speak out the back, I'll make sure I bring you a cheesecake. Any cheesecake in particular, or just standard?
Peanut butter, chocolate, vanilla. Yeah.
Peanut butter cheesecake. I've never seen that before in my life. Is that
Love
something?
peanut butter cheesecake. I always get it after my fights, always.
Right, that's it. I'm coming to Birmingham, down in the southeast here. We obviously don't get anything decent like that. I've never heard of that before. We maybe get the odd cherry on it, but you know, you don't get much more than that, man. Oh mate, what a nightmare. So, are you all ready and prepared for your fight next week? You know, no injuries, all ready to go.
Nah, no injuries. I'm just ready to go. Like I could go now.
No, that's it. I can't. And I can't. Is it going to be? Is it going to be like streamed anywhere online, like TV wise or pay per view, anything like that, where anyone can watch the fight?
I hope so. I hope so. think it's on a page called MMA Thread on Facebook. I think they go live with it.
No,
So yeah.
And what time's that going to be on?
I don't know. I think on main event, to be honest. Main event or co-main, so
Oh, you're
I'll be
tight.
on.
Yeah. Mate, it's going to be amazing. Have you got? Is everyone going down there with you? Who have you got going with you this time? The normal crew?
Natty, Joy, Mush, a boxing coach.
Yeah.
Darren. So yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Natty's always going to be there. That goes without saying, doesn't it? To be honest with you. Are the
Yeah.
other lads? Are they all back from the States yet with Leon?
Yeah. They're back now.
How's the buzz around the gym now? And Leon's come back in after Well, that's some performance. What do you say against RDA?
We ain't actually seen Leon yet, so yeah. But when he won, the environment in the gym the next day was so good. Like everyone was buzzing and that. So yeah, man, we're all proud of him.
What did you think of the fight? Like to me, that was an unbelievable performance against one of the toughest guys in the division. And the and is that something you guys train in the gym? Well, I love Leon's short elbow every time he catches him. Is that something?
Yeah.
Is that something you guys train in the gym?
Down at our Thai gym, Corfit, yeah. Like me, Fabian, Rocky, and Natty go to Coach Henry. So yeah, I'm amateur, so I can't do it. But we adapt to what I can do.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I keep forgetting that. Yeah, with the elbows. Yeah, but still though, it's still what. And what were your thoughts on the fight, on Leon's fight?
Say that again, please.
What were your thoughts on Leon's fight?
Wow, it was unreal. He smashed RDA around for 5 rounds straight. The only thing RDA was doing to him was chopping his legs a bit with a leg kick. But apart from that, he absolutely tore RDA apart.
And were you training? Obviously, saw Leon training. I know he was in the States for afterwards, but was that sort of his sort of game plan going in? Was just to pick him apart, not go too crazy, and just do his thing.
Yeah, I don't actually know what his game plan was. I never asked him really, but yeah, Rocky's always calm when he goes in there, and he always performs at his best.
Yeah, man.
I just can't believe how he mugged RDA like that.
It's crazy, wasn't it? Everyone, I put a poll up on my page to see, and it went 75% to RDA. They thought he was going to win. I was like, why is everyone counting out Leon? You know what I mean? And well, there you go. He took RDA down. He done him on the feet. What else can you say? Who would you like to see him fight next? I want to see the Masvidal fight personally. I think that's what a lot of people want to see. What about you?
It's either got to be Masvidal or the rematch with Usman. He's Rocky. They need to give him the title shot now. He's on what, an 8-fight winning streak. One of the second biggest, was it Kamaru Usman? That's on the biggest streak, and both of them two need to fight it out again. Back in the day, Rocky, he's evolved so much since, and I believe that he'll tear through Usman and he'll be the champion.
No, I believe that as well. I don't want to sound too biased, but I just don't see why people are counting out Leon. Look what he did to Cerrone. Look what he did to RDA. He's a warrior, man, and it's good. See, it just shows you the talent that's coming out of the UK, and it must be great to see the biggest talent in the UK and the UFC is coming from your gym, Mo.
Yeah.
No, man, that's just that to me that must be amazing that you're at such a young age you get to go down there and train with all these top guys. It's amazing, and so do you find you've got a slight advantage as well? Like you've come into the sport and you're learning MMA as a whole, as such. You haven't done like jiu-jitsu, you haven't had to learn jiu-jitsu and everything individually. You're learning MMA as a whole. Do you find that as a bit of advantage for someone like yourself?
Yeah, because like people that are just, you can be a pure wrestler, but then once you get put on your back, you don't know what to do, or could be a pure grappler, and then striking, you don't really know what to do. But then when you're getting punched in the face, some people's grappling goes out the window. So, yeah.
And you also, that puts down what everyone talks about, saying you can be a black belt in jiu-jitsu with the gi on, but in MMA you're a white belt, and that's the difference. So, do you believe a person who's a white belt MMA jiu-jitsu fighter could easily beat a normal Brazilian jiu-jitsu fighter in a fight?
Yeah, like Natty's had it before. He fought a lad called Avi Jack.
Yeah.
On FCC. It was main event. I think Avi Jack was a brown belt or something. He smashed him. And then his last fight, Webb. Is Webb a black belt or a brown belt? One of them. But when Natty was sweeping him over, and then when he was in Webb's guard and he was throwing shots, Webb looked like he didn't have a clue what to do. So, yeah.
And another positive for Natty to take away from that fight as well. He managed to stay away from the submission from Webb as well. So, yeah, I hope he has taken the positives away from that, because has he calmed down now a little bit?
Yeah, it was calm straight away.
Because when I interviewed him, he's a lovely guy, by the way, everyone. Nate is a lovely guy. He can understand his frustration. When I interviewed him, you could see the frustration in his eyes. It scared me a little bit, to be fair.
As soon as we left the arena, we had a big chicken bucket, so I think that must have made him happy.
Chicken standard, mate. And how about, did you get any cheesecake as well?
Did I have any cheesecake? Can't remember actually. It was like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. Everywhere was closed except for this one chicken shop. So, yeah.
I love it, mate. It has a scrap and then ends up in a chicken shop eating a bucket of chicken. Well, I'll tell you what, you know, you obviously know the way to his stomach, you know the way to his heart, and that's through his stomach. So, how long have you known actually him for then? So, even when you were boxing or before that, is it like a family friend or is it just through the MMA world?
Well, it was just through the MMA world. I'd known him since I'd come to the UTC gym in about January 2015 or 2016, one of them.
That's it, and then they've stuck by you ever since, and I say ever since because I'm talking to you as if you've been fighting for the last 10 years. You know what I mean? Because from the experiences you're having and stuff, you know, you may as well have. You've probably got 10 years worth of training experience in you from all the other guys. So no, it's
Yeah.
great. One thing I like to also want to ask you is we were talking about, you know, eventually you want to get to the UFC, be the UFC champion. You've obviously seen, have you seen the UFC flyweight division currently at the moment? It's a bit, you know, what are your thoughts on that at the moment? Because there's all rumours about it, you know, not being around anymore, or will Cejudo be able to defend both belts? Do you feel like that's a worrying factor for someone like yourself, or would you quite happily go to the UFC, just move up a weight class?
To be honest, every month I'm growing and getting bigger and bigger. More muscle mass is getting put on me, and it's getting harder and harder to make flyweight. So I believe that when I turn pro, I'll be a solid bantamweight. So I'm not really thinking about that at the moment anyway. I'm just focusing on now. And then when the time comes, me and management will sort that out when I do turn pro. But at the moment, there's no stress. Like, yeah.
Get as much experience as you can, isn't it? That's the plan, isn't it? Get as much experience as you can. Don't jump in there and when you don't need to be. And I'm guessing you're one of these people who wants to go in there against the top guys straight away. Is that right? In pro, you want to be going for not saying the
Yeah.
top. I mean, like you go for your top up and coming guys straight away.
Yeah, like I've got a few names that I've been looking closely at. So after these next two fights, I think I might have to call someone out if I don't get given no one.
Now, fair enough. And a lot of these fights you're being offered at the moment, they're being offered to you, or are they ones that you've actually been asking for?
They've just been offered to me. Whoever my management send me the name over, I'll just accept it.
That's a great attitude to have. Don't even look at the name. Just go. Yep, I'll take that fight. But I'm sure when you saw Luke Foden pop up again, that was definitely something you're interested in.
Yeah, 100%. I didn't even stutter. I just went yes straight away.
So, and did you even know he hadn't been fighting for a little while?
Yeah, but I weren't bothered about his competition. I just wanted him.
Fair enough, man. And I know you're not allowed to say or announce too much about any upcoming fights, but I thought you'd say if it is. But are you? Because you know Cage Warriors have a great a great company, you know, Cage Warriors Academy, where they put a lot of their guys through as well. Is that something you might be interested in as well, going through their academy?
110%. That academy title looks good. I've held Joy Herbert's Cage Warriors bout, and it was nice. So I'm hoping that when I get the amateur one put around my waist, it feels the same as the pro one.
It will feel the same, mate. You know, it might feel quite big though. I held Modestus's belt, and I'll tell you what, those things are heavy, aren't they? They're heavy
Yeah,
and epic.
man.
And then when I saw, no disrespect to Samir when he won his fight, the flyweight guy when he won his fight, I looked at him and thought that belt's the same size as you.
Yeah. I held Joy's, and I was like, oh man, this thing's bigger than my head.
So how are you going to hold all these belts when you keep going around all these organisations winning amateur titles? Where are they all going to go? You're going to have to wrap them all around your arms like AJ used to do and things like that.
I have to find someone to hold them for me.
Just won't even be able to see you anymore. It's be like a fort of just gold belts, mate. That's what you want, isn't it? And then you've got to think when you've got all that sorted, you know, right? I want to get into pro career, and I want decent, I want positive records, I want straight away. You want the top guys, yeah.
Yeah, that's the plan.
And is there anyone out there let's not like anyone to call out, but is there anyone particular out there you'd really like to fight in your amateur career, who you really think will push you to your ultimate limit? There's some name out there, not smack talking wise, but there's a certain name that you'd love to fight because you really feel they're the best out there.
Not really, to be honest. I ain't really looked that far. I've seen lads that I want to fight, but I ain't really gone that far. I'm just focusing on these up and coming opponents, really. My next fight, not next week, the following one, and made for the cage for the vacant title against a lad called Luke Pemberthy. I believe that will be a good fight because he's quite a high-level grappler. So I believe that me and him will put on a good fight for the fans that will be there. So yeah.
Yeah, and it'd be a good test for you to show obviously your grappling as well, that you can definitely stay in there with the best grapplers and hold your own. Again, filling you with even more confidence, you know? That's it. And then you can go back to the gym and wrestle Fabian and say, yeah, I'll drag you on the mat now. Yeah, don't tell him I said that. No worries. I tell you what, Bo, mate, it's been great chatting to you, mate. You know, I really appreciate hearing your story, and another great name coming from Team Renegade. And honestly, in the UK, one of the most talked about gyms, and we just can't wait to see all these names like yourself coming through the ranks. And I just really appreciate you taking the time and having a chat today and telling us your story, mate.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you for having me, man.
No worries, Mo. And Mo, just want to give you one more opportunity to shout out any sponsors, gym partners, or anyone who gave you the opportunity to helped you get the opportunity to get to where you are now.
Yeah, I'd like to big, massive shout out to my management, Heavy Duty, Carl Messon and Darren Reed for giving me all these good opportunities. I'd like to thank Team Renegades, AVT. I'd like to thank my Thai boxing coach Henry down at his gym, Corfit. My boxing coaches Ron, Gaz, and Darren down at Fraser's Boxing Gym. And I'd like to thank my sponsors, Safe Jaws, New. I never get this one right. New Matic Pro, or that new concussion supplement. Athlete.co, MMA Play 365, CBD Life, and yeah, that's about it.
And how about if anyone wants to help, like wants to follow your career, see your fights, and see what you're getting up to and things like that? Have you got any social networks or anything people can follow you on as well?
You can like my Facebook athlete page, Zubair MMA, my Instagram, Zubair MMA, and yeah, that's about it.
Perfect, mate. Well, again, thank you very much from me. You know, again, really appreciate you coming on. Love talking to all you up and coming fighters. You're the future of MMA. You know, you're coming in, learning MMA as a whole. I've said it before. You're the new breed coming through. And Mo, it's great to speak to you. And I really can't wait to see how your career progresses, my friend. And I really hope we can talk again in the future. If not, after your next couple of fights.
Yeah, I'm always available. So yeah, thank you for having me again.
No, thank you. And anyone out there listening at all, make sure you check out Mo Mini Cannon Zubair. He's got his first few fights on YouTube. Check him out. He's got great submissions, great finishes. He's training, as he said, with some of the best fighters in the world at the moment. So make sure you follow him, support him, support all of the UK fighters as well. And Mo, have a great day, man, and definitely speak to you soon.
Yeah, thank you. You too.
Cheers, man. If you've liked this podcast, be sure to subscribe on iTunes. We're live every Sunday at 8:30 p.m. talking MMA. Go to facebook.com/martial arts chat, give us a like there, and follow us on Twitter @martialartschat.